I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Avakar Kwadash, and double honor to the apostles of the great millstone. And also giving the salutations thereof towards the Akim that's forwarding this ministry worldwide. And shalom to the brothers and the sisters that is sincere and hearkening to the lessons that we give unto you. Once again, it's the brother Laban coming at you with another video. And in this video, I want to respond to what Yuval Harari said about what he was saying in this this video. And what I'll do just in a little, I'll play the video because on this panel they're on the topic of democracy in Athens. As you can see, Athens Democracy Forum, associated with the New York Times. And on this panel discussion on technology, as well as the title of the video says panel discussion on technology and the future of democracy, he goes as far as to say something that really struck me. And I also want to let you brothers and sisters hear this for yourselves too. And I want to break this down and what I see possibly happening, in my own kind of way. So anyway, let's play this video.
Fears, your concerns about this, and how we can deal with it.
Mm-hmm. No, I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital, and this was the moment when everything became monitored.
And I'm sorry for the mic. What I'm going to do is I want you to hear what he just said again, and I'm going to play this thing back. 15 seconds.
Maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital. So
what he just said there is that in decades to come, people are going to remember within the COVID crises, in his own words, that was the time that we went digital. And I also want to play more so in this video as to what else he says, because Yuval Harari is he's a very straightforward character, and he basically tells it like it is on how the powers that be really think and see things, So anyway, let's play some more of this. Hopefully you can hear it.
This was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed.
That we agreed to be surveilled, right? He didn't say it correctly because of his accents, but he said we agreed to be under surveillance. But how? What kind of surveillance? Let's listen to some more.
All the time, not just in authoritarian regimes, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin.
That's the minute surveillance started going under the skin. So that's all I really want to hear him saying, and I wanted you to hear. And what I got to say to that is being that we're still, to a smaller degree, especially down here in the UK, we're still under the Crown Royale, as Apostle Hall says it is, we're still under that condition. But it's dropped to a point where everything's like it used to be prior before the year 2020, basically. Just about, I would say. So, things are just damn near normal as it seems. You see there and there people wearing their masks and stuff like that. But we're still in the and pretty much China has placed millions, as this reads, into COVID lockdown again as the economy continues to struggle. So we're still in the time of the crises. And somehow some way, somewhere around about probably this time, especially within this new decade we're in, the 2020s, they're going to bring in the thing that we're looking for and hasting, and that's the implantable device. As Yuval Harari said, that the time is going to come within this this Crown Royale period that we're in, right? Surveillance is going to be under the skin. That's exactly what he said. So that means in a roundabout way, in these times, people will be mandated to receive that implantable device. And I just want to read another article, because I remember there were articles earlier during this year on how Bill Gates was warning that another pandemic is on the verge of coming. So maybe through, and this is just my way of going about it in terms of this video is concerned, and saying that maybe through another pandemic, and this time it's going to be for a greater reason. And within that greater reason, they're going to eventually roll out the implantable device, as Joe Biden has already passed the law for the chips. Okay. So that's just what I see happening, man. I see maybe in a roundabout way in these times, or probably another pandemic is gonna come out of the horizon, something in relation to the one that we're under right now. And that pandemic is going to lead the way for the implantable device. Anyway, let's read a little bit of this. It says, $1 billion project aims to prep drugs before the next pandemic. A new center in Australia set up with an initial $250 million. Donation will focus on creating therapies for future infection diseases outbreaks. When the C-19 pandemic hit, few existing drugs were available that could be immediately tested to treat the disease. Now, the Australian $1.5 billion initiative in Australia will look for technologies that can create drugs within weeks or months of a new pandemic threat emerging. Its very ambitious effort, says infectious disease researcher Sharon Lewin, who is the director of the Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity in Melbourne, and who will lead the new center, which will be based at the same location. And look how much money they're going to invest in for technologies to create new drugs. Right? That's a lot of money, 1.5 billion. So they're definitely preparing for, as Bill Gates put it, a greater pandemic which is forth to come. And maybe, as I've said, and I'll say this again, maybe as they're going to create the new drugs, which is going to be for the new pandemic coming, maybe within all of these technologies, and with that being said, they already got the beast technology. So with that being the case, they could very well get the masses to get this thing so that they can show that they have taken the medicine for this other pandemic. Okay, just like I believe it was within last year's lockdown that we was under. They were I remember there were articles speaking on COVID passports. Pretty much, I remember there was a lot of articles on that, and some brothers speaking on that as well, as I can recall. So maybe this time around, Lord willing, they could very well bring that implantable device to the forefront. And it's just a matter of time, because we're still under the conditions of the Crown Royale. And as he puts it, as I'm going to play this video again, he says within a couple of decades time, or decades later, people are going to remember that under the crises that we're under right now, to a smaller degree, not to a higher degree, that was the same time that everything went digital and things became more monitored. And then eventually we came under surveillance, and the surveillance went under the skin. So what does it mean that the surveillance went under the skin? Referencing that implantable device, because that's the goal of it all. That's the end all be all of these people. They want people to go through with this technology, beginning with this guy by the name of Aaron Russo. He blew the whistle on what one of the Rockefellers wanted. I believe his name was Nick Rockefeller, as he was sitting down speaking with him. And if you were to type in Nick Rockefeller, you're not going to find no evidence of this guy being around, because they can do that. Hence is why they're called cryptic you-know-whats, cryptic JOOs. These people, they can literally hide themselves from the internet very easy, and overall from the world like they never exist, but they do exist. So anyway, Aaron Russo said what he said, and not too long, the man passed away, which is heavy because that was the only message that he had to give to let it be known what the end goal of the globalist, which is to do just that, man. Eventually get the world to accept being tagged, electronically tagged with the implantable device. So there you go, in the book of 1 John, the 4th chapter. And I first want to begin by reading the 4th verse. So this reads, ye are of the Most High, little children, and have overcome them, because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. Exactly, because who's behind the little children, the elect, is Yahushua. Yahushua has chosen us to be his men. And as he has chosen us, obviously he's going to look out for us. And it's not the fact that he chose us, but it's really that the Heavenly Father chose them and given us to Yahushua. So Yahushua is going to take good care of his little children that was given unto him, of his Father. So we're going to overcome. It's already set up that the powers on high that we can't see, that is all around us, the right-hand spirits, are going to make sure that the elect overcome the beast and his image. Revelations 2, and also we're going to read verse 10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days, and be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Verse 11, he that have an ear, let him hear what the Spirit saith unto the churches. He that overcometh should not be hurt of the second death. What is the second death? The nuclear destruction. That is the second death that many will be hurt by, because they're going to proceed with the beast by receiving that implantable device, being electronically tagged, which is what all of these people are setting up. They're setting up the masses to be electronically tagged so that everybody on the face of the earth can be monitored at the end of the day. And Esau can have the total upper hand and they can play God. So let's read Revelation 15 verse, I think we can read verse, I'll begin by reading verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for in them is filled up with the wrath of the Most High. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stands on the sea of glass, having the harp of the Most High. What is that mark? None other than the Charagma one. And that's what they're going to bring out to the forefront. But in order for people to be accepting of this underskin surveillance, as they put it, people are going to be in dire straits, in a great position of difficulty, And that's when the people are going to cow down to accept the implantable device under their skin. Right now is by choice. I've also read an article, and I might go over this, Lord willing, this week, that tens of thousands all around have already received that implantable device under their skin. So right now is by choice to get the implantable device, but eventually it's going to be made mandatory for you to go about through your day-to-day living and buying your necessities. You're going to have to get that implantable device that they're going to push out there while you're in dire straits, especially when society reaches to a very, very low point, which they're going to bring about themselves, as they do control the world, don't they? So there you go. That's all I have to really say for this right here. Hopefully you saw exactly what I was getting at, and you heard what he said, because sometimes you can't really hear it properly. When I play these videos on the YouTube. So that's all I have to really say on that. With that, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and the Son, Yahweh Bashmi Awashai Bashma Vakar Kwadash. With that, I am out, and I say Shalom.